Yeah, the year the world was supposed to end.
Yep. Turns out it didn't.
Wow.
It was just the beginning. Wait, so you got 2012 tattooed on you, but the band started in...
Fuck, I forgot what year.
Other side. 12.
12. Why did I get 12?
I mean, to be fair,
I think it was more of a personal thing of like things that happened within my life.
Yeah, let's dive into that heavy.
Yeah. Should we talk about that stuff? So first of all, with 2012, as 2012 rolls around and we come into 2012
Coming off the back of a big year.
Coming off the back of a really massive Q4 of 2011 for us. I've looked at the band and I said, you know what, guys, we really need to get rolling with the times. We need to make it Twitter. We started.
You were right there.
We started 5 Secs of Summer. We couldn't get 5 Sauce. We couldn't get 5 Seconds of Summer. That was too long. It was a whole bunch of things. So
Was it because fans already had the name?
Yes, they stole it.
So the Swedish are to blame.
Yeah, we blame the Swedes for this. And then we move into it, and as a 4-piece, we go, all right, let's start making some big moves here. Let's kick off 2012 right. So we go, let's book another gig. The last one was so amazing. Let's do it again. And we book another gig at the Annandale Hotel. This time, there's lots more bands playing. Yeah, we were like, let's get a part of this like festival lineup.
From my memory, we really hit rehearsal hard though.
We did.
Now it's March, but January, February, I remember we were rehearsing like 4 times a week.
4 times a week in this 4x4 little cube, white room that felt like purgatory.
Well, we weren't in there yet. We're at my house at this point in time. We're rehearsing at my house still.
In your room, we were, weren't we?
Yeah, we're in my bedroom, and we're rehearsing like madmen.
We just really would turn the amps down really, really quiet.
Yeah, we commit hard, pretty quick, which I think is cool.
I think that's definitely your influence.
We were really aware that we needed to like do this. I remember we started to look around for a manager, and I remember we found Adam around this time as well, because who was booking these tours and stuff?
Yeah.
So we must have got...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and the place that we did the next thing in Gotta Get Out.
So we did a lot between December and March. From 2011 to 2012. We kind of got our ducks in a row.
Yeah, we really did hit it running, and then...
Started rehearsing, got a manager, made our parents aware that we're gonna probably do this a little more seriously.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was some bad manager contracts before that Adam one, wasn't there? Because Adam wasn't even a contractor, I don't think.
No, he was great. There were definitely a few propositions that we had been presented. One of the big hooks for one of them was I'll get you on tour with the Getaway Plan.
Oh yeah,
which we could cut to their hit song.
It's actually pretty crazy because we were very young, and there was like 1 or 2 manager deals that came in that would have had us locked down for like actually 12 years.
Yeah,
which is or whatever
which would
it is.
Still be in.
And yeah, and I remember being really excited. This is how much like we're not from money. I remember there was like a guarantee that one of the managers would make us all $3,000 each by the end of the term.
Yep.
Or something.
By the end of the 12 years.
I mean, yeah, maybe not for 12 years, but that's still a lot of money.
And I remember being like, well, we should probably do this. That sounds sick.
But I remember Liz. Liz was the guiding force in our contractual life for the first kind of beginning of our career. Liz was always like, you know what, don't sign this one. And then I remember she came to meet with the guys who were offering us some of the other stuff, and after the meeting we'd get together, and I think we were eating Subway in a public park or something. And
$5 6 inches.
As I'm jumping down on a sub, I remember saying to Liz, "So what'd you think?" And I remember she said she didn't get a good vibe. She didn't trust him, and I said, you know what, Liz, I trust you. So not them.
Yeah. But obviously, like, we somehow meandered our way to some pretty good people.
We did.
Which I guess, like, this is the dawning of our intuitive practice as a band. We kind of just started to feel things out, and we knew that we had to. So now we're acousticing too hard. And we're starting to be referred to as the acoustic cover band on YouTube.
Yeah. And let's just get that image in our head of when you acoustic a little bit
When
too
you
hard.
acoustic too much, it's
Yeah,
like,
then-
how are we going to break out of this?
And your Boyce Avenue.
So then you're Boyce Avenue.
They took it
Oh.
the whole way, man.
They did take it the whole way.
No
Next thing
disrespect.
you know, your voice.
But at that time, acoustic covers were at their peak on YouTube. They were doing
More than anything.
Dude, they actually were.
They were
Well,
doing.
I know that sounds crazy to say.
So if
but
you can
like,
think right now back to the biggest one was the Off the Moon band that were doing the covers all on an acoustic guitar, and they would all have their hands and they would sing in
that
harmony
Walk
all
Off the
together,
Earth, right?
which was
Yep.
the biggest video on YouTube in like 2012, I think.
dude, it really was. Like, if you did
Oh.
a good acoustic cover,
Yeah.
you would do numbers.
So the
Yeah.
key to breaking on social media then was to do just a good acoustic cover. Geez, times have changed, eh? Like, damn. So we were like,
and-
there's the wormhole. We can get through that
In
wormhole.
the same time as like Justin Bieber starts blowing up.
Yeah.
Like just recently before that, from doing like his acoustic covers that ends up getting him signed, and that was, and then he's like the biggest artist in the world. So this is all
Yep.
happening at the same
So
time. It's
so
kinda crazy.
so we're kind of trying to read pop culture as an acoustic band right now, and we're like, okay, so we need to put something out there that's higher quality. So we on May 21st we filmed the "Gotta Get Out" acoustic video, which was a song Callum wrote. Did you guys
Yeah.
write that with him?
Mm-mm.
So you're
No
100%. So you're the richest.
Yeah, I think I got a check for that for like $17 when I was 16, which
I
you know,
stand by
that's
what
pretty
I said.
good.
that bought.
I stand
That's
by
three
what-
and a half stunner deals.
I think we
It is.
I think I bought you guys some McDonald's from that,
That's
probably,
dope.
yeah.
which is like
$2
my, which
cheeseburgers,
is
yeah.
my thank you.
So this was our first shoot, and it was set up by our manager Matt Emsel, and we went into Redfern.
Yep.
And we walk in, and it's a beautiful set where there's mics. We
Which-
had never recorded live on mics before,
And we are not city kids by any means. We're out from like the bush.
so we're already stressed. We've been on the train for an hour and a half. We're walking through Redfern with all our gear, and we walk into this building, and we've never recorded into mics live before, and we've also never filmed a video with a budget before.
yeah, with never with more than one camera that was an
Yeah,
iPhone.
because that's how we used to do it, because we used to just do like
I was the
one,
only- I was
two
the only one-
takes.
I was the only one with an iPhone,
Michael
so
had
we
an
recorded
iPhone.
all on mine.
So we did our best with this video. Is it still online?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's great.
Wow.
It's actually
A
good.
good video.
It's really
Yeah,
good.
It is a good video.
And like we did it all in one take, and
is it live?
Yeah.
Dang.
yeah, and like we did a really good job, and we had people like miking out, acoustics, and
Yeah.
put a
But
mic in the back of the con. Like we did
This
it
is
right.
and this was the turning point where the band turned into started to flourish into an original music band.
Because we were so scared of not doing a cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are we so aware of that? This is very quickly, because I remember all this time we were like very, very certain that we did not want to be the acoustic YouTube cover band, and we needed to have original songs and play them so people would like them, because that was the ticket to having people come to your show.
But then the cool part was we were doing 4-part vocals within the first 4 months of being a band, which is pretty damn cool.
Totally. Like we all knew that we all wanted to sing, and
Yep.
we knew what it was about,
Yep.
and we knew that we loved to like hear our voices together. And so we were, I mean, and when you're 15, you just have to figure it out. We were like, okay, how do we all sing together and make it sound good? And then that was how we learned
Yeah.
harmonies and stuff
We liked
like that.
we liked a lot of those, like even fucking Mayday Parade, all their like harmonies and
Yeah.
stuff, and
Yeah.
like Mariana's Trench and all
But
those.
I guess the purpose of this first video that we made for Gotta Get Out was because we had now got a manager and we're going to do an Aussie tour, because now we had some kind of demand happening. We're having we're starting to create more and more fans. We're doing a lot of Ustreams, I remember at the time, and we're really
Lots of that.
Okay.
trying to get the
It's like an
stir the pot.
Instagram live these days.
Yeah, like
These
an IG
days.
Live. And we would do them multiple times a week, I remember. You were really good at coordinating them. And we would all get it into your granny flat at the
Yep.
back there,
Michael had the
drink
best
your
internet.
mum's port, get hammered
Yes.
off screen,
Which was fucking terrible.
and play a Day to Remember covers to... We were getting like 20,000 viewers at the time.
I
remember.
think it was kind of popping off.
Yeah.
It
so,
was, yeah.
So at this time, we're starting to make moves. We're going, okay, people are watching us.
We've got a manager. So we can't fuck it up.
We have a tour in the works. I remember starting to see designs for the first 5 seconds of summer logo, which Matt Emsel was retrieving, and it
Yep.
was the tally, which is on my here.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And
Same.
so we started to put all that together, And then we made 2 runs of T-shirts. We made a black T-shirt and a white T-shirt with the tally on it that just said 5 Seconds of Summer, and we prepared that to take on this tour, which we went on from May 26th.
Wow, that's actually a pretty big jump, isn't it? From the first 2 gigs,
Yeah.
you think about it. You got T-shirts, you got an actual run of venues. That's flights. That's a lot.
But during this time, we were actually writing as well.
Yep.
So we were getting our shit together.
Oh yeah.
So we were writing. We were gaining more and more original catalog to put in our back pocket before we went back on tour.
And this is when we started to rehearse almost like 5 days a week. And we were like, we need somewhere to go like every day. Like, where are we going to meet up and where can we keep all of our shit? And to be fair, we had like 2 pedals and like 2 guitars or whatever. And I mean, we rehearsed like fucking no other. We would just rehearse and rehearse and rehearse because we thought the only way to become a really great band is just to like continually play together until you so instinctually know what each other's going to do. And we'd play, we'd turn the lights off and we'd make sure we can still play the songs and still feel each other's kind of like how we were playing.
But I think it scared us because when we played the second Annandale show, we were electric, we were plugged in, we were on a stage, we were playing with hardcore bands. They had it together. I remember we were like, damn, they sound good compared to us.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're kind of shitting it.
Yeah.
We're like, we're not there yet. We need to start rehearsing hard. But this gig had about 70 kids there, and they were all there to see us, which was a good feeling. So it had built already,
Everyone
which was crazy.
really did not like us there.
No.
Everyone.
Well, the other bands, no.
The other bands.
Well, yeah. I mean, there was one band, they lent us like their back line, which was nice. They were
know
the
what?
only ones that were nice.
Which was
to us.
Sweet.
When I look at it, we're not even on the we're not on the lineup. We were in Plus More.
We're Plus More.
Wait,
Yeah.
let me see. Is that the purple one?
Wait.
Yeah.
I swear there's one that has us on there.
Is there?
Yeah.
'Cause
Wow.
I
This
remember-
one just says Plus
See,
More.
this is what happened.
I
See,
remember there is one.
And
There's
I
one
remember-
with us on it.
I remember you being upset because you're like, the only people that are going to, I think at that point we knew. These are all really like hardcore bands. And they did not like
Absolutely.
except for the ones that lent us the back line.
But I do like this kind of rollout that we had going on here. So May 26th, we played our first Factory Theatre Sydney show. And I remember in the big room next door, Tonight Alive was headlining.
Yep.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
And we snuck in and we listened to them and we said, "Holy fuck, they sound so much better than us."
Yeah, and we were like, it was that was a full touring band. And
Yeah.
that was kind of the first band doing pop punk that we had witnessed that were like, they were like high class. doing
Yeah,
their thing.
totally.
They ruled. So we played this show. It was sold out. We were selling merch at the end.
Yep. Like 200 people finally showed up. We
Yep.
finally started to get it going.
And that one felt like magic. I remember the way that felt. I remember the way it felt stumbling on stage, not having an intro or anything. We just kind of got it going.
And what we do is we'd go to school during the weeks and like the weekdays. I wouldn't go, but you guys would go to school during the week. And then on the weekends, we were like, let's do gigs. And then, so this Saturday, we played the Factory Theatre in Sydney. And then the Sunday, we had a book to go to Melbourne. And we had this amazing gig lined up in Melbourne at, this really cool bar. And I mean, like, we're 15 at this point, so we're like, oh, that's sick. And we get on the plane. We're about to get on the plane, and our manager calls us at the time and goes, "Hey, there's a problem with the Melbourne gig. So the venue has fallen into a sinkhole.
Mm-hmm.
So
But we were so casual. Yeah, so what?
we were like, yeah.
So what? We can't play?
So what does that mean?
Oh.
So what? The kids will be in a sinkhole?
This
What?
is-
He said, play around a sinkhole.
That
Wait,
doesn't matter.
wasn't this where we coined manage the situation? Like we just managed the
Oh yeah,
situation.
we said just
Ah,
manage
yeah.
it. Yeah, or something.
Which was good. We had,
Because we thought it was fucking hilarious. We had a manager. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, we definitely made fun of.
He did so well though.
He did so well.
He did.
He
And
did
so we get.
well.
So then he says, we're moving the Melbourne gig to a college, to like a, what was it, a basketball
was a
court?
tennis
Tennis
court,
court,
yeah.
something like that. And then we arrive, we get there. It actually turns out like better than what we thought anyway. We were like, fuck, this is awesome. And then after every show, we'd do like, we'd meet every single person who wanted to come in and see us, and we'd sign anything, and we'd take photos. We did the whole thing.
I remember the stage looked so ugly that we sent Adam out to get some fairy lights.
and we
We
said,
go-
"Can
we
you
go,
put
we
him
c-
behind
this
us?"
is ridiculous.
That's a classic astronaut
we
move
go-
right there.
We go. We got no prod. We're playing in a tennis court.
Yeah,
This looks
yeah, this is
absolutely
terrible.
horrific. Let's wrap some fairy lights around the drum kit. And I went, it's perfection.
Yeah, and now
Looks-
now it's great.
Looks great.
And as me and Callum are as we're about to go on stage, we're standing back. They're like the noise is ringing for our intro music. I think we had at that
Yeah.
point or something, and Callum leans back and there
Uh,
goes
Yeah.
there goes my beautiful Gibson Les Paul custom.
Yeah.
Straight
um,
from Santa.
Straight
I
from
think
Santa.
I think it was. We had an encore.
It was in the
We had an encore,
We
which
were-
is already pretty.
That's lit.
We were so
ahead.
ambitious.
Yeah.
Like, what are we? What are we opening our encore with?
we're doing. I think we were doing Out of My Limit last.
Smash it.
Okay, yeah. And then you had your guitar in a guitar stand, and I was like, oh, shoulders are getting a bit sore from the bass.
Yeah.
I put my
And to be fair, basses are heavy.
No,
you
but-
needed
yeah.
to kind of
and then I put my guitar down, and I saw it in slow motion. Your guitar's just kind of it's bumped a little bit
and it's
once or
wobbled.
twice, and it's just fallen. And I've seen it, and I've looked at you, and I've looked at the guitar, and
Crack the
I'm pretty
neck.
sure you got on your knees. You
Crack
fell
the
to
neck
your knees.
right in the middle.
Yeah,
Fell
I
to his
said-
knees.
yeah.
Um,
It's pretty distraught.
I remember tears.
Yeah, I think you did cry.
no, I didn't.
He did.
There's no fucking way.
Dude, you did.
I'm pretty sure you did cry.
watched you
and
cry.
I'm pretty sure I shed a tear or two.
Really?
I don't
Why would
like-
I have cried over that? That doesn't. I had another guitar, didn't I?
It was your
I don't
favorite.
know, yeah.
To
I
be
mean,
fair,
I'd
that
be
thing was
pretty
way fucking
devastated.
too heavy anyway.
But I also remember you having a bad day in general because we rented the back line, but they sent 2 bass amps. So you're playing.
Oh my
You're playing
God.
guitar through a bass amp.
I'm rejoicing.
Yeah, the whole thing sounds like.
Oh yeah, because you couldn't. You couldn't fly with anything.
But anyways, this is just another day in the life. We're getting it started.
Yep,
We're,
it's what you got to do. You got to do that stuff.
but at this point in time, we're still children, so we went back to the hotel and we're having a blast. We used to push all the beds into one room because we
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
want to. we
Because
didn't want to
because sleeping alone was scary.
because sleeping alone was scary.
I have some memories from back then because I forgot about this tour a little bit, and that it was actually a full thing. And like we used to, because in Australia, like you could get flights pretty cheap to go places because you can't fucking drive because it takes 14 hours to get anywhere. And we used to stay in like the service apartments, whatever you call them. So like hotel rooms with like 4 rooms, and like a manager would sleep on the couch, and us 4 would like. Well, actually, there was only 2 rooms in each thing, wasn't it? That's why we pushed the beds together. But it's that I remember like being so elated that I just couldn't go to sleep. Just was so happy. It was just so. It was honestly so funny, and I'd forget about that. It was so much fun. Just like 15,
It was fucking
dicking around
awesome.
in a goddamn hotel room, like just.
It was fucking awesome.
And so we get on the band's private jet.
Jetstar.
By the second gig, no, I'm kidding.
So then after that tour went so well, we said, you know what? Let's record our acoustic shit
Yes.
and let's put it into a body of work. And we went into our first studio, like an actual studio where you record music. Like if you imagine a real recording studio, and we go in there, and we go in there with like I don't know who was like producing or who was
I
like
think it was
recording
just
this
an
stuff.
engineer, and he was like, "Okay, so where's the producer?"
Yeah.
And we were like,
You are, dude.
we're at, and I turned up with a cajon again. So I feel like
you had a djembe, didn't you?
I had a djembe as well,
Oh.
Yeah.
just to give the beats, But we show up at 3:01 in Sydney, and we're in Redfern
It's a
again.
nice studio. Oh my god, because Adam worked there.
Yep. So we're getting
Oh.
discounts.
Yeah.
So
He
our
got us-
manager at the
that's for
time
cheap, yeah.
got us in there, and so we kind of just wing this situation. We've never been in a big studio before, and 301 was really nice.
Yeah.
And we didn't know how to play the click track, so we did these recordings.
We did them without.
I remember going in, and we would lay the cajon down first, and I would just remember the song in my head and beat out the cajon
We
for 3
would-
minutes, and then someone would go in and follow it on acoustic.
Actually,
on
what
a-
happened?
and yeah.
We didn't use click tracks
Yeah.
or have sections. We
So-
said, all right, so we need to start with the car.
So I would just go in there in a silent room, and I would play, Miss You. I'd be doing for however long I thought the song went for.
Yeah, and you were usually right. I think they were right all the
They
time.
were great.
Gee, that's fucking
Yep.
funny.
And then we'd
They have
go
another
in,
drummer that can do that.
We'd go in and we'd record the rest of the stuff, and then we ended up getting a full EP out of it, and we recorded a song called Too Late, which that never made it past Unplugged, but which was great.
Yeah.
That was our opening song. Remember we
That was our
it's like an
opener.
Angels and Airwaves
And I'd
vibe.
go dun 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 because I was the only one with a wireless pack, and I'd do it backstage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo,
can only
where'd you get
afford
that
one.
from? Oh,
Joel
Joel Chapman, yeah, he went.
Oh.
All right,
Um,
let's just make sure we get an illustration of Joel Chapman. So Joel Chapman was our first ever music guru, and he was the first like rock star we had ever met. He had rings on. He was
Yep.
cool. He had long hair. He was in a band called Amy Meredith. And
Yeah.
he was kind of helping us get our live show together when we started playing as an electric band. And he's a mystical being. He had a mustache at the time. I had never seen a mustache.
No, me neither.
Definitely not of that caliber.
No.
Not one that long.
And he was kind of coming with us and helping us get this kind of early days electric band
I mean,
together.
and he taught me what a delay pedal was.
Yep.
He taught me like what a phaser was. I think I still have his Phase 90
He
pedal.
taught us
Yeah.
to use two different guitars
was-
instead of using the same
The
sounds
same
competing
one.
I was gonna
against
say
each
that.
other.
I remember that. So I used that for years because it was
Absolutely.
pretty clear that you were always gonna play like the stuff that was like like holding the meat and potatoes of
yeah.
the show.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, what the fuck am I gonna play?
yeah.
And he was like, we'll just play something different. And I was like, all right, well, I'll just move everything up
Up an octave.
up the octave.
Yeah. And
that-
it worked.
It worked.
And to be fair, we stuck with that mantra for our whole career. Like, still
Yeah.
now, we won't play the same thing
No,
because of that,
definitely
because
not.
there's no point.
That's fucking funny.
But I guess this whole first headlining tour was in preparation for the biggest offer we'd had so far in our career, which was to support a band who were having a top 10 at the time called Tonight. They were called Hot Shell Ray.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a massive opportunity for us.
Yeah.
Because they were an American band.
Yeah.
I'd only ever met one American in my life,
Mm-hmm.
and
Interesting.
Yeah.
Who?
which was Caleb.
I was gonna say my American, and it was
Yeah.
Caleb. So
Yeah, that's the only
I only knew
American
one.
I've ever met.
So this has all happened in 2012. 2012's been a massive year
this
for
is
us.
this
Yeah,
is the
this is
biggest
the-
year. I
yeah,
can see why you got the
busy year.
tattoo now. It makes a lot of sense. This is the big year.
Yeah, I guess so.
And it was kind of 2012 was a year we had to convince our parents. It was my last year of high school, and I had to choose whether I'm going to try get into a uni or I'm going to be in 5 Seconds of Summer.
Yep.
And I was all in on 5 Sus.
Mm.
Yeah.
So-
and then Callum, you had a difficult decision to make as well, which I don't know if you want to elaborate on, but that was a
Yeah.
big decision you had to make too.
Yeah. Between, I guess this was also at the end of the year of 2011, deciding between whether I wanted to pursue music or football. And I mean, obviously I chose music. Regret it every day. But that's when kind of like, I mean,
I remember that was a moment for you where you were like, "Am I doing this?"
Yeah.
Or,
Mm.
I mean, it was definitely a big moment, and also a big choice for like a 15-year-old to make, to kind of decide what life path they want
Yeah.
to be on.
yeah.
And I'm glad I stuck with this one, and it's all down to intuition. I mean, at the basis of it, I was just like, I just want to be with my mates,
Mm.
make music with my mates, like no
'Cause
matter
it's so-
what happened.
Also, like, thankful to the naivety that we had and also so thankful to our early fans because they encouraged us to make brave decisions.
Yeah, because it's so fucking hard when you're thrown a decision that you feel like you have to make that defines your entire life.
Yep.
And we only did that because of the fans supporting us.
Yeah.
Because or else we would have been like,
Well, we weren't getting that much encouragement from anyone in our real lives.
no.
We
But
were
Yeah.
just getting all this. This was literally the second year of Twitter being a thing.
Yeah.
And we were going online and we're seeing all these people like really liking what we were doing. So it really encouraged us to like start manifesting opportunities, which we had no idea we were even doing. We were
Yeah.
just being really positive about everything that came our way.
Yep.
Yeah, because I even when I say to people that thing where we used to go to school in the week, or try to, and then play gigs on the weekends, like to say any American person, would be like, oh, people at school must have just thought you were so awesome and so cool. And it's like a fucking dream fantasy land in school over here because everyone fucking hated us at school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not hated us, but like there wasn't like a cool thing.
Well,
Like
America.
you'd get threatened to be beaten up once a week, minimum.
Yeah.
One thing I've learned about America is it had a scene, and Australia had no scene where we were from. We were just dust in the wind out there.
What-
We had no community that surrounded our music. We were just doing.
It's just
stuff.
fucking free for all. And
Yeah.
and what I'm looking at, as I'm looking at how many gigs we played in 2012, to play this many shows in Australia is fucking crazy. This is like a big touring year for just Australia, because in Australia it's so hard to play shows. You know, you've got like 3 main cities to play, and then you know, if you can afford it, you can go to Perth.
But the
m-
main note here
can't.
is this is how it's all changed. Is back then, your numbers would be reciprocated in a physical venue.
Mhm.
Like we knew that 200 people liked this post. We're gonna get 120 people from that post to come to this thing. It was more reliable.
right.
Whereas everything's inflated now, and you have
Yeah.
no idea. But back then, it was like, yeah, it's gonna be sweet. Like, look how many people, liked this thing.
Definitely.
Of course, we should go to Perth. It looks like there's
yeah.
200 people that want to see us there. Like,
That's what it looked
This
like.
was it was opening for Hot Show Ray. Obviously, they didn't realize because they were not from here, or not from there. But it was their first and only show in Canberra, ever.
Yep.
Really?
Ever.
Yeah.
yeah,
And then after that was when we went to New Zealand for the first time. That was great.
Mm-hmm.
And then
First international show.
yeah, the
A
Zeal.
year,
I remember
nearly
that
2 years
so
in.
well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
is
then
pretty
after
awesome.
that, between the like early November months, which was when we were given an opportunity that obviously would end up changing our lives, when our manager Matt spoke to us
It was
about.
it was in Adelaide.
It was in Adelaide, yeah. Yeah, I remember the like little. I remember the booth we were sitting at as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, me too.
I remember he said he's spoken to his friend, and One Direction are looking for a band to sign and take on their entire tour in 2013, the Take Me Home tour, which
which at that point in time, the only thing I'd seen of One Direction was when they came to Sydney,
and it was
absolute chaos, and it was on the news, and people were like, the streets are closed, the
Yep.
CBD, they're staying at the Intercontinental, and there's 10,000 people waiting outside.
Yep. And so immediately that's a little overwhelming.
So we were like,
And
what?
What Makes You Beautiful is like one of the biggest songs in the world at the time. And I mean, essentially was the beginning of their rise to being one of the biggest bands of all time. And we kind of were looking at each other and we were like, holy fuck, like, do we leave? And the proposition there was to leave Australia
Mhm.
and to move to London. And
because the management company
Was
that
out
we
of
would ultimately
London.
sign with was out of London.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it would be go to London, get ready for the tour that started in 3 months, which, you know, we had a few gigs under our belt at this point,
And write some songs to play on that tour.
and write songs to play.
That's a quick turnaround.
But the crazy part was, I remember the biggest problem was escaping our mentality that we shouldn't go on tour with a boy band.
It was
Because
that-
we were like, we want to be Green Day. How the hell are we ever going to come back from going on tour with
with a
these
boy
guys?
band, yeah.
It just didn't make sense to our 15-year-old brains. We were like,
Yeah.
how are we going to become a live band
Yeah.
if we make a decision like this?
Mhm.
And thank God we did.
I know.
We got past that, but
Yeah,
it was like such a confronting opportunity.
it was a mixture of that fear and then also like literally taking any opportunity. Up until then, we'd taken every opportunity we could, and it served us well. This just happened to be a really fucking huge one, and you were
Mhm.
right. I remember being like, "Isn't that crazy?" Questioning that decision, being like,
Insane.
"I don't know, guys. Like, we want to be like a band, like a band."
Yeah.
It's like it's so funny to think
And
about.
Well, this was our first lesson in like not compromise, but like making the best out of every opportunity.
Out of every opportunity you're given. And then right after that, we decided to make a band EP and record 4 of the best songs that we thought we had made.
Mhm.
And that was when we recorded Out of My Limit, Gotta Get Out,
Inside You.
Beside You and Unpredictable.
Unpredictable.
The crazy part about making that EP was we strategically planned. So it was still, so we had gone, yeah, sure, we'll do the One Direction thing. But they were like, okay, we're going to send One Direction's manager is going to come see you in Australia.
Yeah.
And we were like, shit, that's
Yeah.
really scary.
That's fucking horrifying.
This would be the first time we've ever met like a big music business
like
person.
big time.
We
yeah.
had no idea how to communicate with people like that. We had no knowledge of the music business at all, but we knew we had to look good. So we tweeted out, hey, here's the studio. Please come visit us. So we look good.
Shit, we
So can you please come to
we
the
do
studio in
that?
Surrey Hills?
Yeah.
I remember
We need
that.
people
Yeah.
outside because this 1D manager guy's
We
coming.
need him to think there's some
we
buzz.
need him to think we have buzz.
Wow, that's
Nice.
fucking genius. Whose idea was that?
We
That's
need him to think we have buzz. So
Yeah.
we had like 10 people outside. And did you? And
Huge
when this manager got there, we're like, did you get in okay? It's kind of crazy downstairs.
and he was like, oh yeah, fine.
And I remember he showed us the video for like the 1D's next single or something, and we were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
We were like, why are you showing us
Yeah.
this? So he met us. We showed him what we were working on. We're making Somewhere New,
Yep.
which wanted to sell billions.
which
Went on to be one of the greatest EPs.
which
of all
was
time.
cool. It was like our first proper recording process, and
And that was fun, dude. Like we were
Yeah.
figuring
That
out
was so
how to
fun.
like. That was when we played to click. We did the whole thing.
Uh-huh.
We really
Yeah.
did the whole thing, and it was awesome.
And I remember we were just doing our best to be polite to people at this point in time. Like we were just like stoked on everything that
we
was
were just
happening.
we were just like, these opportunities are coming and they're amazing, and you know, who would have fucking thought that we ever would have gotten to the point that we were at that point where we were fucking playing the Metro.
We were
You know what I
stoked.
mean?
And
Like-
and all of us weren't even out of high school yet.
Yeah,
At
I
this
mean,
point in time.
I mean that was all through the Somewhere New EP, and like before going to London, there was the whole thing of like you know I think we'd all finished. You were about to finish school, and we were just were finishing year 10 at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So we still had 2 more years left of school, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a whole thing of figuring out, can we do this, like, especially from my end, because my mom was like, you know, obviously it's a big opportunity. She's not silly, but she was like, you need to do some sort of school.
You finish school.
So, because she's a teacher, like that was all through that time trying to figure out that, even like with the Metro show and recording the EP. Oh God, that's fucking
Yeah,
crazy.
And then we played our Metro show and that was a 1,000 cap room, which we fucking sold out, and that felt like
Mm-hmm.
that for us was like we were leaving.
Yeah, that was our
Australia.
farewell.
That was
our
like
farewell gig.
That was we're gonna go try this overseas now.
But we were well aware that the music market in Australia was, at the time, was notorious for having just a bubble.
Yeah.
We knew that if we stuck around, we'd be playing at the Metro
Yeah.
forever.
yeah.
Because how far can you really take it here? Like, what else can we do now? We've done all these things. We've done headlining tours. We're doing this. We're doing that. And we're seeing more people like us overseas. So we made an informed decision. We're like, okay, we need to start again in England.
Yep.
And
We
because
said
it's-
let's start it again.
let's
Yeah.
just try again. So we literally repeated the process that we did in Australia, in England, by starting to do like fan meetups. We would play it, you know,
Yeah,
this
and-
is in the next episode, but
Right.
yeah.
But I remember in December, we had collectively decided, all right, it's time to go overseas, and it's time to go to London and
Mhm.
you know, make it happen. And we all showed up to the airport. We took a picture of our departures.
Yeah.
Was that for the first
Yeah.
week? We did a week there first, I remember, at the Key West.
Oh yeah.
And then
yeah.
we went
Mhm.
back again.
Yeah, we
For
went
good.
early December to there for the week at the K
Oh,
West.
okay.
And then we came back, and then we went again. No, we went at the beginning.
Yeah, see what we remember. Yeah, I remember being there for a
Because
week.
we went at the beginning, and then some of y'all flew back,
Oh yeah, that's right.
and then I couldn't afford to fly back. So I don't think any of us could afford to fly back, but
No,
we
no,
made
I
it.
don't
We
think
made it
so.
work.
Oh, jeez. I actually remember being on that flight with my mum, and we were like right in the arse end of the plane, and we were right
Probably
next to
middle
the
seat.
toilet, and I
Yeah.
just was awake the whole time. The only way to fall asleep in those days was with Finnegan.
Oh, 20.
You loved a good Finnegan.
And you wake up after a Finnegan sleep, and it feels like you've been hit by a fucking train. Jesus Christ, it's terrible for the 10-year-old brain. Anyway,
So we left Australia at the end of 2012.
Yep, and
It was 5 days after I finished high school.
yeah, you got on the plane, and then we showed up to London, which was like, I think like 10 Celsius, and we
Oh,
were all in
God.
flip flops and
We're in-
singlets.
But I mean,
We walk off the
I-
plane, and we're just fucking immediately. Our breath starts turning like.
I was in flip flops, a singlet,
yeah, I'd never seen cold like that,
jeans. Yeah,
or felt cold
I
like
had
that. I
no
guess.
idea.
But that's the end of 2012.
Yeah,
At the end of this ever, goodbye Australia, hello Europe.
Yep.
See you
Like
later.
we were like, let's do this over there.